had a completely different video prepared for you guys today, but then last night when I should have been in bed and not on Twitter, I came across this gem.
What?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a drill. California wants to tax your text messages. Okay, I thought we moved past the days of texting fees. What is this, like 2005?
Look at this photograph.
The California Public Utilities Commission, which I'll be calling CPUC because it sounds disgusting, has released a 52-page proposal to tax all cell phone customers a special California surprise. Why? Because CPUC's budget is going up and they can't actually pay for their budget increases. So, because they can't balance their checkbook, they're going to tax you. Well, golly, that sounds familiar. The fact that they can even do this is because of the Federal Communications Act of 1934, which established universal service in order to create widespread and affordable voice service in the United States. It was later amended with Bill Clinton's 1996 Telecommunications Act, which required the FCC to establish support mechanisms to ensure that schools, libraries, healthcare providers, and low-income rural, insular, or residents in high-cost areas receive access to affordable telecommunications services. Now keep in mind, in 1996, only about 23% of Americans had access to the internet, and that access was dial-up. That's clearly different from today, when 4G is just about everywhere and even your local McDonald's has Wi-Fi. Still, CPUC says that they need to tax you to make sure that libraries and poor people can get access to phones and the internet, because that's what this is all about, taxing people to help the poor. Well, now that you mention it, what this is really about is that a decline in telephone calls means that the state has lost out on about $5 million over the last 6 years, which leaves the Public Purpose Program underfunded, a program that, by the way, the proposal itself states is unsustainable over time. And CPUC is right. Their budget went from $670 million in 2011 to $998 million last year, as in $2 million short of $1 billion.
We could make billions?
They've already raised the surcharge rates from 2% to 7%, but that wasn't enough. So now it's new tax time. But CPUC doesn't want you to see this new proposal as a tax, because we all know from Obamacare's individual mandate that it wouldn't actually be a tax, it would be a fee. And according to the fine print, that fee would be retroactive, going back 5 years. According to CPUC, the fee, is necessary in order to fund 911 services and subsidized phone services for low-income individuals. I'm sorry, but when I worked for a nonprofit in a low-income area and our clients needed new phones, we brought them down to Boost Mobile and got them a prepaid phone for $20. But apparently, they don't have Metro PCS or Boost Mobile in California and are so bad with their money that if they don't charge you for texting, you don't get to call 911. Hey socialists, how you like them apples? How any of this would work, what it would look like, and how much they want to tax people is unknown because they refuse to tell anyone. But from personal experience, any time the government is refusing to tell you something, it's because they're being shady as fuck. Some groups estimate that the tax would net the state about $44.5 million a year, a lot more than what they claim to be losing. But with that special retroactive clause, Californians could be looking at a bill in the ballpark of about $220 million. CPUC has countered their critics by basically claiming that people already pay extra surcharges, so they'll hardly notice. A spokesperson has also said that it wouldn't really affect consumers because if they start taxing your texts, the surcharges on phone calls would likely be reduced. But when has the government, and especially when has California, ever turned down your money? Interestingly, the opening paragraph of this garbage heap of a proposal says that its purpose is to increase the consistency, transparency, and competitive neutrality of the Commission's surcharge mechanisms. Though this is hardly neutral because it doesn't apply to iPhone users or people that primarily text through internet-based apps. The Cellular Telecommunications Industry Association is concerned that this would just lead people to use competing apps like WhatsApp and Facebook Messenger because they at least understand how markets work. But because iPhone users texting through iMessage wouldn't be affected by this tax, it's likely that no one in the state of California will even care except for those same subsidized poor people that can't afford iPhones. It's a dumb idea, says Jim Wonderman, president of the Bay Area Council business-sponsored advocacy group. Trying to tax this very wide population would especially hit young people and poor people. Their goal is to make money to help the poor at the same time it's charging low-income people. At least this guy gets it. But there is some hope for you doomed California tax slaves. The tax proposal is complicated by a new FCC ruling that classifies text messages as an information service because government just can't leave anything alone. In this case, though, government meddling is at least somewhat helpful, as it would technically make the tax proposal illegal. Nevertheless, CPUC says the proposal is not inconsistent with federal rules and will be putting it to a vote in January.
As of 10 p.m. Friday night, CPUC announced on Twitter that they are delaying the vote on the text tax due to the FCC ruling, but apparently have not announced this anywhere else.
That is your Liberty-related news for the week. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, or drop me a comment down below, as it really genuinely helps me not be buried by the YouTube powers that be. And I do read every comment. I don't always know what to say back, but I read them. Or if you'd like to support my channel in other ways, you can do so over at Patreon, or now at Subscribestar if you are sticking it to the Patreon man. Either way, thank you for watching and helping me to spread the message of liberty.